Everybody, it's Joan Nielsen here, and I'm at the park today with Loki, who is swinging on the swing, having fun. And the other day we were at the hospital and with Mike. He has kidney stone, so he is working on that. But while we were there, they had, yeah, it's sun shining. I have to move myself. Okay. While we were at the hospital, they took him in, and we're going to get him all set up, and then Loki and I were going to go in and see him, and they said it would take about 15 minutes. And I waited for about an hour, and then went up and talked to the receptionist. And I never know what name Mike uses, because even in his ID, he has his name as Mike or Michael. And usually he only uses Mike, but he could be registered as Mike or Michael, I explained to her. And she goes, oh, we go by his legal name. And at a time, like a year or so ago, I would have been very upset and, like, who cares what his name is? Just tell me what he's, is he okay and stuff. And that was pretty much what I was worried about. She was very upset with me. Started to be very upset with me because she wanted to know what his legal name was.
Stop!
And, okay, I'm stopping you. And I just wanted to know where my husband was. But I just continued with whatever she wanted to call him. I was okay with whatever she wanted to call him. She could call him Michael, that's his legal name, that's on his birth certificate. But for, government purposes, on different cards, depending on ID-wise, he has different names. It's Mike or Michael. And so whatever, as long as she can find out who he is, it doesn't matter to me what she calls him. And she found out where he was, and he was an X-ray, and then I could come back and see him. I never allowed once for her attitude or her negativity or any of that to get me down or to get me all frustrated and stressed or anything like that. It was hard, and it was really interesting working on staying calm because, well, first of all, I had Loki with me, and he is definitely a very energetic boy, and he was really good through the whole thing. And I had, my thought process of where my husband was and what was going on, and how he was doing and not knowing what was going on with him. So, but I kept myself completely positive through the whole thing and keep working on that. Now, I can't say I would have been like that years ago. Years ago, even a year ago, maybe even 6 months ago, I would have been really took on her negativity. I would have taken it personally, her attitude, the way she was talking to me and the way she was, handling herself. I would have really taken it personally. And this time I refused to. This time I allowed her to keep it and not worry about that, and allow her, whatever she wants to call him is fine with me, and didn't allow it to really sink in. But I thought it was a really good point to bring here, because a lot of times what we do is we do take other people so personally. The way they speak to us, how they treat us, and I realized that the only reason people are treating you in that way is because that's how you're seeing it and that's how you're allowing it. They're allowed to have their bad moods if they want to have their bad moods, and they're allowed to pick on anybody. Well, not really, but if that's what they choose to do and how they choose to represent themselves, that is totally 100% their responsibility. It has nothing to do with you. It is theirs. Leave it with them. Allow them to continue with their negativity in their own mood. Because if you don't take it, they have to keep it. It's like a gift. If you don't want that gift, it doesn't go from them. It stays with them. And they have to deal with it. And eventually, it's right there in front of them, and they have to look it in the face. So go about taking care of yourself, making sure that you are taken care of, because it was such a valuable point for me to realize that I didn't need to handle all that stuff. That was her stress, and I just wanted to know where my husband was, and that was where my focus was. And she could keep all her negativity and all that stuff, And she could call my husband whatever she wants to call him. His name is Mike, his name is Michael. It doesn't matter. As long as he's safe and healthy, that was my whole concern. And I just kept with that. So when you find yourself in a situation like that, just remember what your focus is, and not to allow what other people are finding important to you, because it doesn't have to be important to you, and you can just let it go, because you are so worth making it the most important day and the most important time that you're having. Make it worth it for you, and don't let anybody else interrupt that, because you're worth it. Have an amazing day, everybody.